we touched upon retail, we touched upon businesses, right? So we are looking at a lot of onboarding on retail audience, on the best of metaverses. I mean, everyone's trying to onboard their retail user. But at the same time, there are hyper enterprise approaches to metaverses. These are B2B metaverses, the education, the corporate metaverses that we were discussing. What is Yat from Animoca putting his bets on? What is on the top of his list?
Well, I mean, Animoca Brands has focused very heavily on blockchain gaming initially. We still do that. I think there's a couple of reasons why. And the other area is education. But let me focus on gaming first. There's about 3.4 billion gamers out there today, which is 2/3 of the actual internet. And most gamers actually have a relationship with their virtual goods as one of ownership. Whether you ask your children, when you ask a gamer, that skin that he bought, or that item that he's earned, or that he's purchased, he doesn't think he's renting it, even though that's what's happening. He thinks he owns it. So you already have an audience of billions of users around the world who actually believe that and want that. So an onboarding, we think, is easier. Now, right now, we've seen with early sort of companies like Axie Infinity or even the Sandbox, those are the beginning, early stages. But really, from an evolutionary standpoint, the most popular game in the world today is still Roblox and Minecraft, right? And actually, those are the environments that people know and understand best, not just because of our children, it's also adults who play these environments. They also look at the online experiences as real to them. There's real love, there's frustration, there's unhappiness, there's excitement. These are real emotions. These aren't sort of, virtual emotions. They're still real to you as a human. So your virtual time in a game is as real to you as your physical time. So that transition, we think, is logical for that audience. I think the other thing that, just covering quickly on the gaming side, that's important is that the value that game companies are generated is gaming is a $200 billion industry today, bigger than music and film combined. But a large part of that value doesn't go to the gamers. The majority goes to either the advertising companies or to the actual game studios. Now, what happens when all of that value goes, a big portion of that value goes back to the player economies? It actually fuels sort of an actual real sort of the metaversal activities that we see. The other area that we like a lot is education. I know you've done something in that area as well. And the reason why, again, is because our thesis on non-fungible tokens is that all things that are content can now become assets through NFTs. Now, when they become an asset, you can have all the network effects that assets can have, such as capital formation. For instance, if I own an NFT, you can have a loan. If I own an NFT, I can, maybe sell it if I want to. If I own an NFT, I can rent it or give it to someone else. These are things you can't do in Web 2, you can do in Web 3. And teachers and educators are amongst the largest content creators in the world, but they don't have the benefit of that capital formation. So we think Web 3 could be a good solution for them as well. Of course, of the 380 companies plus we invested in, it's not just those two areas. We've invested in layer 1 and layer 2s. We're at a point we're investing in the entire ecosystem because just like when you grow an economy, you need to invest in the roads and the streets and everything else. You can't just invest in one business or two. I don't think now is the time to specialize too much. I think you need to invest broadly in the ecosystem as well to help it.